Welcome to Matters of Substance in 10 with the National Council on Substance Abuse, a program focused on education and efforts to tackle the use and abuse of substances in our nation. Today's program is brought to you by City of Bridgetown Cooperative Credit Union.
COB, for all your financial needs, making your dreams a reality, helping to achieve prosperity. COB, for all your financial needs. City of Bridgetown Cooperative Credit Union, measuring success one member at a time. Join the family.
Welcome to another edition of Matters of Substance in 10. My guest today is Pastor Cheryl Chapman from the New Testament Church of God, and we're going to be talking about the role of the church as it relates to substance abuse in Barbados. Good afternoon to you, Pastor Chapman.
Good afternoon.
Well, let's talk about that. There was a recent seminar involving church leaders and looking at the role of the church in the community as it relates to substance abuse. Tell me why you think that is so important.
When we look at substance abuse, it does not only affect persons outside of the church. It doesn't only affect a community or isolated. Inside the church, we have families. We have persons who also have been abusing substances, regardless of if it is marijuana, alcohol, or cigarettes. It affects a society. It affects the children. It affects productivity. So the church, who knows the truth, should be ones out in the forefront assisting with this problem.
You were actually one of the facilitators. What was your topic all about on that day?
I was addressing the pastors on what is the church's response to substance abuse and to give them some tools, because we realized that some of the pastors and churches don't know a marijuana leaf from a peach leaf. So we need to get into our communities. I can't run my church in Cotswold like how some person will run their church in Nazarene, Column. The dynamics are different. So you need to get out there, get all the data, train your people, train yourself, be informed before we can start putting program. It is more than standing up on Sunday morning and praying and preaching on the topic. I mean, drug month finished, we are finished. Next month is the best abuse we gone on. We have to be proactive and actually put a strategic plan in place as how we are going to deal with it in our community and then go around and help in other communities.
Now, from the point of view of being a pastor, but also a member of society working alongside the National Council on Substance Abuse, is it a problem?
Yes. Look at every block. The fellas are not bad, the girls are not bad, but they're smoking. And then eventually some would be affected more than others. It's all right to pass with our heads high on Sunday morning, greet them with a half-hearted good morning. What? These are souls. These are somebody's children. These are persons that should be out there being employed, offering society something. They have it in them. What are we doing?
Are we ready as the church?
No. And don't get me wrong. Some churches might be doing their bit in their own little corner. Is that enough? Have you checked and evaluated and see if the results is showing that we are making inroads? Have we ever called in NCSA or anybody, the police, to bring the drug case and educate our people? Are we doing that? So it can't be enough.
Well, this is where we're going to take our break. And what I want to talk about when we come back is the actual tools. What are the practical things that the church can do to help with substance abuse in the community? We'll be right back. You're listening to Matters of Substance in 10. Welcome back to Matters of Substance in 10, and my guest this afternoon is Pastor Cheryl Chapman from the New Testament Church of God, giving some fantastic advice in our first segment. But let's look at the tools, because it's all right to tell people, listen, this is a problem, but now what does the church or can the church do to help be more effective within communities?
We have to learn about the symptoms of substance abuse and the disorder. Training is key. So we have to have the potential for informed and compassionate leaders to influence individuals, families, congregations. We have to look at pooling together our resources and consider our recovery ministry. Where is the church's halfway house for both youth, men and women? We have finances. Let's pool our resources together, get this set up. Where are the counseling ministries in the churches or in churches where are in close proximity to others? We can combine. What is your strategic plan? What are your objectives? How are you going to strategize and go about getting this done? So we have to come together. After we call in those persons, the professionals, we are trained. We can identify symptoms. We can see what drugs look like, what the damage it does. Then we can put programs in place for each step of this journey. But without that, we can't do anything. We would just be scratching the surface and just talking over our heads.
I love what you said about where is the halfway house, recovery house, things like that. But most importantly, the pooling together of resources. How do we get, you're in the battlefield, how do we get denominations to break down walls and come together and do what's best for society?
We have to get out of ourselves. As pastors and leaders, forget titles. We are here to do one job. The Word of God says, is this not the fast that I've called you to? To heal the broken heart, to set captives free. That's what we need to start doing. Come together. It doesn't matter what your membership size is. At the end of the day, we are all pastors following the same Bible. So let's come off our pedestals and find time to sit down and dialogue together and pool our resources. We have a lot of brilliant young minds in our churches and youth ministry. Let's train them. Send them out there to do the work. They're young and energetic and they are willing. They just need a chance. And that's what we need to do. Put aside our differences. Start looking at the congregation numbers and let's work together for this one common cause.
In a society where it seems like people have gone away from our traditional values of heading to church and going to church, can we pull back young people into church, or at least something where the church is reaching out to help?
I can take your pullback as to bringing them from the community and let them come into our churches. Why can't we push back? If they're not coming in, we can go on Sunday morning, divide up and go into the community, sit down on the block, work with them, send the Sunday school teachers out there. They will carry the children while we are working with the adults. We can carry the program there. There's nothing in the Word of God says that we have to stand in our churches and turn on the AC. We can go out to the communities. If NCSA have a program, you say advertise in the paper, say about church, be joining this effort this morning, get the vans, let us go. So they don't have to come to church to be saved or to hear the word. We can put on our flat shoes and go outside too.
Wow, you are extremely passionate as it relates to this program.
Yes, please.
Well, finally, if people want to get more training, because we know we had a training program before, but if churches or members or leaders are interested in more training as it relates to substance abuse and the church's role, what should they do next?
Well, I would prefer them to contact NCSA. So we have a reputable organization running the training. And not that people flying up by night and everybody want to do this little thing. We want it done properly. And then the training can be structured from there. And the professionals and resources come in and facilitate the program.
Pastor Cheryl Trotman, thank you so much for joining me today.
And thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
And that's it for another edition of Matters of Substance in 10. See you next time.